So, I'm actually quite surprised that I'm already making my fourth one. I genuinely thought that I'll just do one, maybe two, and then I'll just grow bored of this, and then I'll just stop bothering. But it seems like it's holding on. It's somewhat enjoyable for me to just talk about things I've experienced many years ago, and I'm just quite enjoying talking about stuff that I like for change of pace. As I've mentioned in my first video, there are quite a lot of things that just irk me in the modern era, and it feels great to just go back to simple and, let's say, more enjoyable times for me. I really hope so that it has also the effect of actually working on my English, because that's the, I would say, more important part of the reason why I even started making these. So we'll see how that works out. If it has some sort of effect, that's great. If not, well, at least I tried my best, alongside with actually attempting to write something, which, considering the sheer amount of books and web novels, uh, and comics, manga that I've read during my life, is something I should have started doing long ago, and I just began a few weeks ago. Started around the same time when I began thinking about making these videos, and well, at least it's doing something. As I've mentioned before, um, I'll definitely talk about some books here, because those are one of my biggest passions. They are something that I really enjoy escaping into, and I also thought a bit about Neverwinter Nights, the game I'm talking about in these few videos that I've started with, and why it had such a large impact on me, and how come I am able to recall so many details even after so many years. I've replayed the game plenty of times. I have no idea how many actually, but I'm guessing it was more than 20. And no other game, even though I might actually think that other games are better than Neverwinter. But Neverwinter just had such an impact. It was pretty much the only game I had access to uh, during grade school and early something like high school that we have in my country. And um, since I had no access to the internet and limited access to a computer that would be able to run newer games, Neverwinter really was just the only thing I could play alongside with my father's passion uh, game, which was Arx Fatalis. I'll talk about that one as well, because it also was quite a big part of my childhood. But Neverwinter was like really special for me, uh, even amongst the other BioWare games, that all of them are quite well special. Uh, at least those that were released so many years ago. Not really into anything that was released these past few years. And well, I think it's time to talk a little bit about Neverwinter. We are up to Black Lake District. I still clearly remember pretty much all of the first chapter, which is those 4 districts and a small area where the conjuring of the cure takes place. I'll probably slow down a little bit once we are in the second chapter. Can't really recall all the details, all the areas, so we'll see how that works. But now for the Black Lake District, where you had to go through an area that was like a pre-district, no man's land, which was terrorized by an orc that you promptly remove from this world, and then you can finally proceed to Black Lake District. There are quite a lot of quests that continue here. There are henchman quests in the no man lands. There is an item that one of your possible companions needs. Then there are some quests that start in Neverwinter Core. For example, the zoo quest, which I still remember to this day. Basically, just people using wild animals for money, but not exactly in a sensible way. This is one of those quests that are tied to your class or a persuasion check, which I mentioned before. The reason why I even dabbled a little bit in cheats, because I really wanted to just go through everything the game had to offer. This is one of those. You are either a druid or you succeed a persuasion check, and then you get this quest to rescue the animals from the zoo and send them over to the druid that gave you the quest. It was an interesting quest, to say. And Black Lake District is basically your high class district where nobles and rich people gather, and your main quest takes place inside of a wizard's estate, who happened to find one of the parts of the cure. Well, not exactly just a part, it's a triad, and we need a log of her hair as an ingredient for the cure. He found her and imprisoned her because he was bewitched by her beauty. So he decided to, let's say, offer her shelter inside of his mansion, bit of a forced shelter. So your main quest this time is to break into the wizard's house, rescue the Dryad, and finish up a few other quests that you can acquire in the Black Lake district, like getting the key to his warehouse where he is storing food, or rescue one of the guards. So you have options how to enter estate, either via a secret entrance uh, from a cleaning lady's house, or just break in or use a persuasion can that usually can get you quite far in these Dungeons and Dragons games. It works wonders if your skill is high enough. Inside of the estate, you will fight quite a few enemies, obviously, and you can find some details on why the wizard imprisoned the Triad, that it wasn't just uh, the fact that she was a dryad and uh, that's beautiful, but also that he wanted to experiment and create the cure uh, and in the end sell it for as much money as possible. Once you finish with the estate, you will continue on to the sanctum where the wizard and the imprisoned dryad is. Uh, once you beat him up, you'll find out that the dryad somehow semi-rescued herself because he was ready to dissect her, basically, and she used her powers as a dryad to enchant him to at least prevent him from straight up using her just for the experiments. So she was just locked up. You can then offer her to help her return to Lady Aribeth, or let her go and she'll give you the hair that you need to finish up the cure, and then she just leaves. And the Black Lake district. So next time it's docks, and probably the end of the first chapter. So that one I remember quite well, maybe even better than the rest of the first chapter, because dogs are a bit more interesting plot wise and loot wise. So we'll see how that goes. For now, that's it.